Hello again. This is Joel Williams doing another GMAU Student Spotlight. Today I've got Frederick Nitz with me. He's in the Muay Thai program, and we're going to get to know Frederick today. Frederick lives in Texas. I'll tell you a few things about him, and then I'll turn it over to him and let him fill in some more details. He's a longtime military man, so we've been talking about his service and my dad's service, so that was fun to talk about before we got started here. And so, Frederick, I know you've got some martial arts background, and you've traveled all over the place with the military and with your work and raising a family. So, tell us a little bit more about yourself. Anything that you want to share beyond what I've already said about
Yes, sir. First of all, thank you for having me. This really is a absolutely wonderful thing and opportunity that I've been given, and I'm very grateful for your kindness to extend this invitation to me.
you.
I definitely would like to introduce myself. I started out, I was born in upstate New York with my identical twin brother. And we were raised by a different family, the Nitz family, and they raised us really well. They started us out with martial arts in Taekwondo to a sensei named Mr. Lee. After that, I went to the military service, and I went to Greenland, where I met my first supervisor, who was also best friend and role model. His name was Brandon Michael Lee, and he would teach me judo and taekwondo and really advance me and get the ball rolling for me in martial arts. Later on, I would end up going to Colorado, trying some Wing Chun and karate, actually doing a karate tournament, got 4th place in that. I ended up later coming to Texas, where family life, responsibilities of family life, work, it's difficult for us to find ways to continue to our potential with a lot of responsibility. So online learning really complements that. It gives you that ability that you can keep going. So I ended up finding quite a few different schools out there, practicing Southern Praying Mantis, practicing some Muay Boran and Krabi Krabong. And then I found GMAU, and GMAU just had this ultimate program of opportunities that were so well organized and developed, and the instructors were so communicative with you that I was like, gee, golly, I can't put this away. I got to try this. So I ended up trying it, and I found nothing but the best.
So, how long ago did you find GMAU, and how did you find it? Were you purposely looking for something like that, or did you just stumble across it?
I was purposely looking for something like that, but what actually got me attuned to it was on Facebook. I saw an ad for it, and at first I was like, what's this, and kind of course, everybody's a little bit skeptical, but to me, I was like, you know what? No, I know online learning, and a lot of people have those stereotypes about online learning. But all of that, to me, having been in the dojo, out of the dojo, in college, online with college, to me, it's all, it's not true. The stereotypes just don't add up. I have found that I am capable of learning in and online. But what matters is the difference is how you apply yourself. If you apply yourself in the dojo, why can't you apply yourself the same way online? And as long as you apply yourself the same way, I've found great success.
So tell us a little bit about your experience with the GMAU Muay Thai program. What are your thoughts on the instructor, Nick Vasallo? Tell us about the structure and format of the technique instructionals and the classes that are available to you. Have you had challenges? And if so, along the way in the program, if so, how'd you overcome those? And, maybe what's the best thing, the most positive thing about the program that you've experienced too?
The program is like I said, incredibly organized. The techniques are very in-depth. He gives several techniques. He goes over them step by step. I've seen programs online with other schools where the instructor is going so fast and you have to keep pausing the video in order to follow along. With Coach Nick, you don't have to do that. He slows down to your level, even though he's quite capable of going a lot faster. He slows down to your level and he walks you through it step by step. I don't have to pause the video. I can fluidly follow him along. He also does Zoom meetings with people to get groups going and exercise and work on techniques. He has also, whenever it comes to testing or assignments, he gives a lot of excellent in-depth feedback that is very detailed. And one of the things I absolutely respect about Coach Nick is that he will push you to be a better version of yourself. He will not sit there and allow you to just bypass something. This is not GMAU is not a degree mill. It is not a black belt mill. It is a very serious martial arts program and dojo. And the instructors are incredibly serious. Their backgrounds are just chock full of martial arts experience and challenge. And Coach Nick will come back with that feedback. He will go fully in depth on everything, and he will work with you on that. And that feedback, it challenges you to be that better version of yourself. And Coach Nick does that. He will tell you, hey, this needs improvement. And I take that, when I see it, I take that with humility. And I say, I know Coach Nick. He is trying to get me to work and be better. He doesn't want me to be just better at martial arts. He works with you and wants you to be a better person too. And that is something in a martial arts instructor, that they don't just teach you the technique alone to be a better fighter, to be a better martial artist. He's teaching you literally to be a better person. Work harder for things. Make it worth your while.
Well, I know that he speaks very highly of you and that you're a great student. Have you had any difficulties or challenges that you've had to overcome along the way in the program?
Oh, yes, I have. I would not say necessarily that the challenges were in the program, but they are challenging, I'll tell you, because you do have to work very hard at it. But I think some of the challenges that have come along my way are probably more so outside. There are things that happen around in your life that are going to try to make things harder. And you have to face those things with a degree to suffer well. And when it comes to those things, one of the things that happened was, sadly, my mother passing. And that was very, very difficult because we could not be there because of COVID. Her passing came very sudden, kind of unexpected. Within days, she basically degraded. And of course, those challenges are going to come in and they're going to throw off your training. They're going to take your attention away. And one of the things is trying to keep up on it despite those things going on. And I will say that the training absolutely actually helped me through that. And Coach Nick, one of the most compassionate people I've ever met. He is totally understanding and supportive of what I was going through with my mom and her passing. Like, he was right there, just, hey, if you need anything, man, let me know. I'm here for you. Like, that was just incredible to hear that from an instructor.
Yeah, that's, one of the unique things about GMAU is you have a connection with your coach that people don't understand unless they're in the program. I have become familiar with some other distance learning and online programs in martial arts, and I can tell you that I've not seen one with the level of connection to your coach or to an instructor or to a mentor that you have with GMAU. So that's really good to hear, and I think it's very important for people to know about. Have there been any wins for you along the way? Any things that have just been just a big event, if I can get my question out for you, just something spectacular that has happened to you along the way. So we just talked about challenges, and I want to kind of balance that out with something positive that's really impactful.
Oh, I would definitely say passing my blue belt was a huge positive impact.
Hmm.
And that took me quite a few times to try. That was not easy. And that took a lot of hard work to overcome a lot of the challenges. But Coach Nick was very positive and kept me in the game, kept my head in the game and kept me going. I would definitely say that that was an absolute plus. My family was very supportive of me. My wife and my daughter, they helped me with the sparring, they helped me with the training. My daughter is very good at it, and I want her to keep training with me. I hope she does, and she has a lot of potential.
Hmm.
Um, I would also say there were some of the things that I've realized too were a big thing, because as I do Muay Thai, I study in GMAU, but with any martial art that I've ever taken, I've always done a lot of study
3 minutes.
with it. I study all the resources available because I want to be very good at it for many reasons. But you would think that with a martial art that the only thing there is to it is being a good punch or being a good kicker, but there's more to it than that. There's a philosophy that's behind it. There's a way of thinking. And in Muay Thai, one of the things that I found that was so incredible was that a lot of the Muay Thai fighters out of Thailand, they have this philosophy that they don't just simply go in the ring and fight, that they're there to fight, that their biggest opponent is themselves. And in all truth, when we're training, when we're fighting, we're trying to become a better person, your biggest opponent is yourself.
Hmm.
You've got so many doubts that you need to overcome, so many weaknesses that you need to overcome. The second thing that I saw is that these fighters are asked to be charitable to their communities. So whatever they gain from that, they have to give back to the community that supported them and help them be where they are. So there's a factor of charity too. So what I saw is this concept that it matters not only who you are in the dojo, but also who you are outside of the dojo. You can't just be a big, tough guy in the dojo who's capable of doing a lot of good kicks. You need to have that character outside the dojo, that heart of charity, that heart of love for your neighbor, for the people that are in your life or you interact with. And your actions speak a lot in who you are. And that matters. And when I saw that mattered in Muay Thai, that really clicked with me because I'm not afraid to say it. I'm Catholic. I'm a Christian. And when I saw that philosophy of love thy neighbor and give back to your neighbor and love thy neighbor, I was just like, you know what? That's me right there.
Hmm.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. So some people refer to that as sort of the Budo philosophy. And I guess, that's really the Japanese version of it, but I've seen it in other martial art styles as well. There's that philosophy of being a good person, being a good citizen, only using your martial art to protect yourself if you have to, all those kinds of things that you're really alluding at. I definitely share your interest in whatever martial art I'm into or studying or writing about for GMAU, maybe in a blog or something like that. I read everything that I can get my hands on. I'm just all over the web. I'll stay up late at night reading things, while everybody else is in bed asleep. So I would definitely encourage other people to do the same thing. Don't just focus on your curriculum and what kicks and punches and blocks and other techniques you have to know for that belt level. Learn more about your martial arts style and get into the history, who are the key people, and all that kind of stuff.
Oh,
And by
Raymond,
doing that, that's
Ramon
where you,
Deckers,
yeah, yeah.
Ramon
There's,
Deckers, Senchai, Buyakau,
there you go.
all
Yeah,
those guys.
yeah. And I know enough about Muay Thai that I know who you're talking about. So yeah, just the big names and the innovators, and if it's a more traditional style, who were the people who created the styles and what's their story and background. And there's just so many. It's an endless supply of information that you can go through, but it gives you a complete picture. So that's really cool too. But one of the things that you mentioned along the way in the last few minutes was this idea of Nick giving you feedback and encouraging you, but you having to work for that belt. It took you several times, and so that's another important point, is that you don't just come in and take a few classes and then send in a video and you have a belt. You have to earn it in all the programs, every rank you get.
Yes, you do. You have to work very hard for it. It's demanded of you. It's not just going to come to you easy.
Yeah.
And don't expect it to. If you expect it to come easy, you've already lost.
Yeah.
I like the concept of, and this is something that I would definitely give to other students about the way I think. When I look at challenges, in the past, in my growing days, one of the biggest mistakes was being very despairing when things would happen, getting upset, getting frustrated. And then I kind of came along this concept of he who dares wins. And then I kind of thought about that, and it just kind of came to me that, in your failure is your weakness, but that doesn't mean it's the end. When you fail, that your failure and your weakness is an opportunity to grow. Failure doesn't mean absolute failure. It means that, hey, you know what? I've got a weakness. I've failed at this. You know what? That's not a bad thing. I'm going to dare to win. I'm going to sit here and I'm going to say to myself, okay, you know what? This weakness, this failure, this is an opportunity to grow. I've recognized a weakness about myself, a failure about myself. Well, guess what? That's a good thing, because would you rather go through life not recognizing that weakness, not recognizing that failure, and then it's always tripping you up?
Yeah.
But when you absolutely see it for what it is, and you sit there and you say, oh, that's what I'm doing wrong. Okay. This is an opportunity to grow. It's an opportunity to do better.
Yeah.
And I'm not walking around blindly in my life saying, I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I don't know why I keep messing up.
Yeah. Well, martial arts definitely gives plenty of opportunities for failure and learning lessons. That's for sure. Yeah.
It teaches a lot of humility.
Mm-hmm.
They have this saying that humility, it's a concept of my own philosophy, theological studies, that darkness or evil, however you perceive it, if it's doubts, your mentality, or something inside yourself or outside of you, if you sit there and you look at it and you say, okay, I've got this failure, I've got this doubt. I'm not going to let this conquer me. I'm not going to let this be my belief about myself. I'm not going to fall into the lie. I'm going to believe the truth about myself. And in that truth about myself, I'll find a better version of myself is possible.
That's very motivating. Well, Frederick, I really, really appreciate your time today. It was pleasure to talk with you. Is there anything else that you want to add before we sign off here?
Yes. It just came to me again about regarding humility.
Mm-hmm.
Humility is key in any success. If you have humility, even if you yourself are the problem, humility, doubt doesn't know how to fight against humility. Doubt doesn't have humility. Self-love doesn't have humility. Pride doesn't have humility. All those negative things doesn't have humility. Because it doesn't have humility, it doesn't know how to fight against it. And it doesn't know what to do with it. But if you yourself have humility, the successes, the challenges when they come, the storms in life, that humility carries you through and you just reign. That humility, that storm comes and it tries to knock you over, that humility, you're just walking right through it like it's just a gentle breeze, even though it's just raging all around you.
Yeah.
That internal peace just stays with you.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like your GMAU experience has allowed you to make those brain and body and spirit connections.
Oh, definitely. It definitely has. And I've had a lot of good positive influences, especially with Coach Nick. He has been an enormous positive influence in all of this and in my personal growth. I also do a master's in counseling program. And that master's in counseling program has helped me to see how to use my martial arts, developing a thought process to help me be a better person. But then, of course, you get that beautiful gift, but now you don't want to just keep that gift to yourself. You want to go help other people do the same. In martial arts, Muay Thai, I can have an opportunity to do that because it's not just about me, myself, and I. It's about all the good people that are put in your life, all the people that you cross paths with. It's not just about you yourself. It's about the opportunities that you can create with others and create something very beautiful for not just yourself, but others too.
Yeah. Well, Frederick, thank you again for your time today, and thank you for your service to our country. And it was really cool to get to know you. And I'm just so fortunate to be able to do these interviews and to be able to connect with GMAU students like this. And I just wish you all the best in your training and much success in your training as you're working towards that next belt level. And maybe one day with this positive spirit that you have, maybe one day you'll be able to be an instructor.
Oh, I absolutely hope so. That is a goal for me. Yes, very much so.
That's awesome. All right. Well, thank you again. And I'll be keeping tabs on you, and take care, and God bless.
God bless you too. Thank you, sir.
All right.